The year is 2048. We've been at war with China for the past 10, and Red Scare propaganda has been at an all-time high since the Cold War. All support towards the shift to socialism among Gen Z has completely diminished as CIA and FBI psyops continue to fuel hatred to anything other than true American capitalism. This means that even the mere concept of universal or socialized healthcare has completely been thrown out the window. Since China was our biggest trading partner, the US is lacking quite a bit of resources, and corporations are using it to their advantage. Big Pharma has upped the price of insulin by 76% since the beginning of the war, and, well, you've been recently diagnosed with diabetes. Just one vial costs around $1,200, and you don't know where to get that money. Half of your last paycheck was taken in order to support the war efforts, and you still need to replenish your supply of rations for the month. But then you get an email. It's Mr. Beast. He's giving away a lifetime supply of insulin to 1,000 people, and you were considered. The email just specifies that you have to be okay with being on camera, and you must be emotional. You reluctantly give in and drive through a war-torn country up to LA, where they've transformed a studio to look like a diabetes center. You're given a number, 765, and are told to wait in a room filled with the rest of the people chosen, plus their family members. You wait for 10 hours, with the only free food being given as Mr. Beast's new line of protein bars, and a collaborative energy drink with Logan Paul's son called Prime Beast Energy. Fuel the beast inside you. Wow, that shit is corny. You think to yourself. They finally call your name and you walk into the studio, and there he is. Mr. Beast himself. You haven't seen him in years. He's gained some weight, has a beer belly now. There's a bald spot on his head, but his beard is still just as patchy and unkempt as it used to be. He's wearing his own merch, but the shirt is old and faded, with a few unrecognizable stains on the front. He walks over to you and you get a whiff of must, like this guy hasn't showered in years. Before you can even try to get a word out without gagging, he tells you to have a good reaction, otherwise you'll have to do multiple takes. He yells action and hands you a case of insulin. You give your best reaction, but it isn't enough, so Jimmy yells cut. He tells you, "I'm giving you a lifetime supply of insulin. I think you can do a little better than that," and then punches you in the stomach. Tears well up in your eyes, and he yells action and hands you the case once again. You finish the scene and hear him whisper, "That's the one," as he walks away. Damn, that was depressing. Can we please turn off this gritty color grading? It's making me feel like I need a shower. Surprise! My hair is a shade. I don't even know what the fuck color it is anymore. It was supposed to be red, but now it's like a pinkish orange, kind of looks like brown. And my eyebrows are gone, so that's cool. If any of my family is watching this right now and you're worried that college is changing me, well, it is, so I would be worried too. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke. Funny joke. Also, new camera. Woo! Now you can actually kind of see my eyebrows, even though they're gone. You can kind of see them. Mr. Beast. Who is he? Well, his real name is Jimmy, so that's a little bit underwhelming. But on the overwhelming side, this is his homepage. You overstimulated yet? Mr. Beast is the biggest individual YouTuber on the platform, with all of his channels combining to over 160 million subscribers. You might be thinking, man, he must make a lot of money. That would be correct. What does he spend it on? You might also be thinking. Thanks for segueing me, but I can take it from here. Jesus Christ, this is my YouTube channel. Jimbo loves to do big, extravagant, and clickable videos like I didn't eat food for 30 days, or 100 girls versus 100 boys for $500,000, or 1,000 blind people see for the first time. That's probably why you clicked on this video. A lot of them tend to be charitable videos, but the majority on his channel are just for fun. But even then, he still finds a way to give money out to his friends or just anyone he's with, whether that is for audience retention or just because he genuinely wants to, is an interesting question and definitely not foreshadowing by any means. He does have a philanthropy channel, which is sick. All the proceeds go to good causes, fundraisers and whatnot. This does tell you a lot about who Mr. Beast is. He's a kind-hearted individual that wants to help people, and that is very evident. Colin and Samir's docu-video capturing a behind-the-scenes look at Mr. Beast opening his Beast Burger restaurant to 10,000 people showed a genuine side to Jimmy that I hadn't seen before.
I know today's going to be hectic, and I appreciate you guys all helping. So we wanted to give you guys an extra $1,000 today. Each, whenever we do your paycheck, we throw $1,000 on it, because today is going to be a lot of work. But I really need you guys to step up, and you can really do your best to make them all have a good time. I want everyone who came here to be happy and have fun. So if you guys could just be smiling a lot and really do anything in your power to make sure they're happy, that would mean a lot to me.
Now, because of this, it's hard to dislike Mr. Beast. However, philanthropy channel aside, his motives to raise money and help people may be skewed by the overwhelming desire to please an algorithm and just push out another video. I don't know if you were aware, but this dude is obsessed with working. He is a capitalist's wet dream, all right? He has so much money and power because of his grinding and circumstances that now he can cure blindness. Shit, maybe he is God. Like a weird android and God hybrid that was made in a lab in the Pentagon out of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates' sperm. You know the propaganda we're fed that describes CEOs in a good and productive light, like Jeff Bezos answering all of his customer emails? I don't know, that's just what I was taught in business school. Well, usually that shit is just not true. It is just capitalist rhetoric trying to make it seem like CEOs deserve the money they get. Well, Mr. Beast is an exception. Not that I think he should be making as much as he does. But boy, oh boy, does that man put leftists to shame. You know, way back in my day, everyone worked this hard and pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. But now we got men making their hair red and painting their nails. Well, I'm here to tell you everyone should be more like Mr. Beast here. From day one, Jimbo was an algorithm annihilator, a social media sleuth. He knew what it took to get views and retention, so he did just that. Saying Logan Paul's name 100,000 times was done simply because he knew the algorithm was looking for watch time. And shit, it worked. And now that he's gotten to a point where you think he would slow down just a little bit and enjoy the view, but he's uploading more than I am, and it makes me feel like shit. He has YouTube channels that dub his videos in different languages. He's a content machine, okay? He films his extravagant videos sometimes at the same time.
It is officially day 10. Sorry I'm dressed like this. I just gave away a chocolate factory.
On top of that, all of his videos are very fast paced and stuff pops up on screen all the time, and there's sound effects and fast editing, all because he knows what it takes to keep you engaged.
We just landed in Antarctica and we're gonna survive the next 50 hours here.
I built 2 massive circles and put 100 boys in one and 100 girls in the other.
This is what there is over.
And this is sort of my issue with his videos. There doesn't feel like there's any creativity, especially now since this is like a style of video that is just done to get views and keep audience retention rate up, that not only does it feel non-authentic, but so many people are doing it that there is no individuality.
This week, we are playing the most... We are currently 15,000... I've made some of the craziest...
Sure, maybe Mr. Beast had a hand in creating this style of video, but because it's done to please an algorithm, why wouldn't more people copy that style? Shit, it worked for Jimmy. Loopholes are loopholes, man. But that then begs the question. I mean, he constantly talks about his obsession with pleasing the algorithm and getting views. And I mean, besides his philanthropy channel, how much of his charity is done simply just to please an algorithm and have you subscribe? I mean, he still asks all the time, when I think Jimmy's at a point where he doesn't need to. But this is the capitalist mindset that is so dangerous. The thought process of not missing out on any sort of profit because you're working as hard as you possibly can. The type of brainwashing that is taught in order for the proletariat to become mindless slaves of the bourgeois. The type of thinking that deteriorates any form of creativity or individuality because these loopholes that please an algorithm that is designed to make money is making you as much money as possible. Being so consumed by a capitalist system and just thinking that good and bad is black and white. Or you're not able to wager the ethicality of what it is you're doing because you can't see out of a system that is blinding you. Kiss or slap. Again, just want to mention that Mr. Beast has a philanthropy channel, and that is fantastic. I also want to mention that I'm not upset that Jim Dean is giving away money or helping people. I just have an ick because when he does charity on his main channel, he's still making a profit. And that gives it some weird motive that charities aren't really supposed to have in the first place. I mean, I have my own issues with charity that stem from them not addressing actual systemic issues, but rather just placing a Band-Aid over it. But they don't make money from raising money. That's a little bit counterintuitive and strange if you ask me. It also comes off as exploitative because, again, the motives are skewed. The first sponsored video he had, he gave away $10,000 to a homeless man on camera.
So you don't really have much? No. Yeah. Well, I'm a YouTuber. I mean, you can see the camera. Yeah. And so it's a series where I just, you know, be nice and just give people some help. So, if you want to take it.
That's textbook exploitation, and that's where his philanthropy started. Tiffany Ferg talked about this in her video on Mr. Beast, which I definitely recommend you check out. But it's a very morally gray area because, sure, he's giving money to a homeless man, but he's also exploiting a charitable deed for views. I don't know, maybe you could just like do it off camera. You're accomplishing the same thing. And even when you're, I don't know, let's say curing people's blindness, your fast-paced editing style comes off as insincere. You're changing 1,000 people's lives. Why does it feel like I'm watching a challenge video? These types of videos are lacking so much depth and emotional nuance, all because you want quick cuts and witty jokes just to keep my attention.
I just want to get my vision back so I can go back to work.
You're gonna be really happy after this surgery.
We'll see after it.
Trust me, you will see.
Also, I do think that Mr. Beast sees giving away money as some sort of bucket list thing. On the about page of his YouTube channel, he has a list of accomplishments on it. And yeah, there's some very admirable things, like giving millions for charity, or donated over 100 cars, LOL, or watching paint dry. It then says, you get the point, ha ha ha. Do I don't know, it feels like you're bragging in the form of a list. At the very bottom it reads, do not email me asking for money. I give away money because it makes me happy. So here lies the fundamentals in which I disagree with Jimmy John's. We shouldn't be giving away money because it makes us happy. We should be giving it away because it helps other people survive in a broken system. I don't see how people reaching out to you and asking for money is deemed as less important because you can't put them in a video. Those two things shouldn't correlate. Just the sheer reality that you have the privilege to give away money when it's fun for you is fucking scary. And it sucks because I know Mr. Beast doesn't realize that poverty is a result of a faulty system because he's a capitalist that is benefiting from the same system. And he can just give people money at his leisure and when it makes him happy. Or when they do a challenge for him, maybe now they're deemed as, in his eyes, worthy of receiving money. Because if you don't work for it, you don't deserve it. And how else is he supposed to make creative and engaging content? This is yet another entrapment of the capitalist mindset, being so skewed to believe that when you make a certain amount of money, you deserve it because you worked hard. This is so obviously blatant in a lot of Jimmy's videos, having people stay in a circle for 100 days, or the first person to rob bank wins 100 grand. In the video where this dude had to stay in a circle for 100 days, there was a tornado watch on one of the days. So what do? Stay, risk death, and win $500,000 if you survive, or leave. This is definitely torture at the expense of entertainment. Again, there are examples of Jimmy giving away money for free, but that doesn't negate the fact that he is still making people perform just to win money and then making money from that. The fun and silly challenges also take away from the importance of giving money to people that need it. Shit, I don't even know if any of these people need the money unless you specify. Another result of the surface level video style. It turns charity and financial uplifting into a game. Something adjacent to like a slime challenge when they're not even remotely the same at all. And again, he just seems to be picking from random people rather than specifically helping disenfranchised communities. Why? Well, because he can't help more black people because that's deemed as political and he would lose subscribers. Mr. Beast can't go woke. It's too much on his influencer status. So, okay, he isn't God, but shit, he may as well be. Now, when I say Mr. Beast is God, I am not correlating him to the Christian God or any specific god of any specific religion. I am simply comparing him to a false idol while also discussing the insane amount of sway and power he has to do good or bad. I mean, if he wanted to, he could reenact the Crusades with a bunch of poor people. The last one standing wins 500 large. Most recently, he paid for cataracts surgery for 1,000 people, which is undoubtedly a good thing. I think we can all agree on that. A lot of people were jokingly comparing him to Jesus because of this. And to that I say, bad joke, maybe don't start a YouTube channel. But I mean, this is the kind of comparison that I'm making. I did talk a lot about worship with celebrity culture in an older video, but the same things apply. Mr. Beast has a large public sway, whether he likes it or not, and he is unintentionally enforcing the concept of charity or good deeds. Him curing blindness and giving people money at the insane level that he is doing it at pushes the scope of charity and philanthropy and makes it seem like it is only achievable through massive individual success, which then further enforces the concept of charity as a band-aid that is placed over systemic issues, with no real solution being provided. When communities can raise money and do things just like this, not for content, but for people. This kind of leaves an audience seeing Mr. Beast as some sort of content creator superhero, not feeling the need to do anything because we have people like Mr. Beast. It also enforces and places the bourgeois in a good light by telling people that people with money are the only ones that can save us. When, yes, I mean, we do need money to solve issues, but billionaires and almost billionaires are not our solution. Money helps, but it's also the reason we got here in the first place. If you really do want to help, local community is the best place to start. Investing time and or money to build your community is something that is so invaluable. Volunteer, donate, raise money. At the end of the day, curing people's blindness is fantastic, but people shouldn't have to depend on Mr. Beast to do that. Healthcare should be goddamn free, and hopefully he won't be turning water into wine anytime soon. Okay, let's wrap this up real quick. Again, I just want to say I do admire Jimmy's desire to help people. I think it's very admirable. I just also think that he is going about it in the wrong direction. Two things can be true at once. Just because you do something inherently good does not absolve you of any criticism. I'm talking to you, Mr. Beast, dick riders. Call that bestiality. All right. And at the end of the day, I do think that Mr. Beast wanting to please a capital-based algorithm is going to conflict with his desire to help people. Money always gets in the way, and that's just how it works. And also, he's friends with Logan Paul, so that knocks off a few points automatically. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my Patreon. I do a mini monthly podcast for tier 2 and tier 3 patrons now. I also post the video a day early for tier 3 patrons. And huge shout out to KB, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Oi Cabby, for creating the intro and the title cards that you see in the video. She helped me out on the last video. I didn't get a chance to shout her out, so I want to do that now. She's an amazing artist, and she's working on a game with some people, so go check out her Twitter and go check out her work. And shout out to my editor, Johnny, as well, for helping me out edit these videos. I know I kind of throw a lot at his face. He somehow makes it work, and I'm grateful. And I will see you guys next time, where it turns out that Mr. Beast is actually the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, making this entire video invalid. And in turn, I get punished because Mr. Beast created a new version of the 10 Commandments called Me and My 10 Friends Go Commando, and I get life in prison. I'm just kidding, Mr. Beast. I take everything back that I said. I think you're great. You're amazing. Please don't put me in prison. Patreon time. Thank you, Tier 1 patrons, Teddy, Mark, and Annalyn. Thank you, Tier 2 patrons, Vanessa Carone, Sophia Vanella, Sav C, Samir Truesdale, May, Matthew MacLeod, Lucas Soda, Ken, Casey, John Grubb, Elka, Birdie S, and Big Guy Mal. And thank you, Tier 3 patrons, Lysander, Lucy Goosey, holy guacamole, Jack, Edgar Rangel, Bumblebee, and Adeline Grubb. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel, and hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great rest of your day.